Rapids fans, Jordan and Angeli here. Welcome to this edition of The Rundown. First, we're going to go over what happened over the weekend, where the Rapids hosted FC Cincinnati and lost by a narrow scoreline of 1-0, and what both Yosuke Hanya and Cole Bassett had to say after that match. Then, we're going to move forward to the game this weekend against San Jose Earthquakes. Under new head coach Luchi Gonzalez, this is a team who loves the ball and they love playing through Christian Espinosa. Drew talks about how the team can prep for San Jose and what they must do right from the opening whistle through the end of the game. It's all next here on The Rundown. Drew, it was a tough played match here at home against Cincinnati, the best team in the league right now, but the Rapids really stuck with them stride for stride. It was only a 1-goal difference, and it could have been much different than that.
Yeah, I think the Rapids leave this game obviously disappointed to lose again at home, but they really could have gotten all 3 points, and I think they didn't start the match well again, right? They sat in a pretty deep block, which was fine against a team like Cincinnati, who were top of the Supporters' Shield standings, a player like Lucho Acosta. But they waited to get punched in the mouth before they started to play. But when they started to play, it looked great. The second half opened up. I feel like the Rapids opened it up in the second half, created opportunities, hit the post, forced some good saves out of Celentano. But it was just like too little too late, I feel like, you know? And so I don't know if it's a confidence thing right now or just the fact that they did play tactically a little bit differently in the first half, but you have to start matches better. And the Rapids just haven't done that the last couple weeks, and it needs to change.
I think everybody was hoping that Moyes' Bombito goal would have found the back of the net. The Rapids had a number of injuries, a couple of players on suspension as well. But Yosuke Hanya from R2 made an appearance, significant minutes for him, and Cole Bassett, after about a month out of the team, made his way back onto the field. Here's what those two had to say after the match.
Definitely, there are a lot of differences between first team and second team. I think one of the big differences is speed of play. You know, especially when you have a ball, you have less space and time. So you have to know what you have to do before you receive the ball. So that's the biggest difference, I think. Honestly, you know, first team and second team, I think they're trying to do the same system. So this organization is trying to be consistent. So I think that's pretty good for the club and for the player. You know, especially the players like me. You know, you have to adjust.
Felt really good. Sucks with the loss, but 2 months out just felt like such a long time to me. So yeah, it wasn't the most fun 2 months, but hopefully we're on the mend now and, you know, build next game with hopefully 30 or more minutes, and then after that be back, you know, as a regular. So I'm excited to be. We had a good run there for a little bit, and that was, you know, while I was hurt, and, you know, we were doing well. Not when I was coming back, I was like, oh, it actually might be tough to get in the team a little bit, but yeah, the last couple games have not been the way they've not gone the way we wanted them to go. These spells happen throughout every single season, but 5 in a row, you know, that's something that probably shouldn't happen. And us as players, we have to hold ourselves accountable, and we know we have a lot of injuries right now. I think it's probably the most in the league, and that doesn't help when you have a lot of starters and key players that aren't able to play and contribute good minutes. But the guys that are on the pitch, they still need to step up, and we need to do a better job of, you know, finishing chances.
The Colorado Rapids are back home here at Dick's Sporting Goods Park again this weekend. Saturday's match is going to be against the San Jose Earthquakes. This is a team who had a 1-1 draw over the weekend at home against Dallas. They are now under Luchi Gonzalez, a coach who has them playing a different style. What do you notice from a team that plays under Gonzalez?
Yeah, I think San Jose for the past 4 or 5 years have had good players. It's just the way that they've played that was a little bit odd, right? They had the man for man. They kind of got away from that and then went back to it. And now they've got Luchi, who is a possession football coach, right? And he has the players, the Jackson Yules, the Carlos Grezos, the Espinosas, the Abobises, right? Like, these are really good players, and Montero, right? They're playing extremely well right now. They've started the season well. I think they've taken caught a lot of people off guard with some of the results they've been turning out. Not as good on the road. They haven't won yet on the road, and so the Rapids need to take advantage of that. And we played them at their place earlier this year. We know what they're about. It's really, can you stop Espinosa because he can punish you? Can you get him out of their rhythm, right? Because they are a possession-oriented team. They move the ball extremely well. Jeremy Ebobisse is a goal poacher. He can score from just about anywhere, but especially inside the box. You got to be close to them, but to him. But this is a challenge for the Rapids because San Jose are playing with a lot of confidence right now, and they're a difficult team to handle.
The Rapids have been good against some of the best teams in the league, but you just mentioned this is a possession-oriented team. When teams come into Colorado, they tend to play differently. Are we going to see that as much with a team who wants to keep the ball? Maybe they don't sit back as much as we see teams normally do.
Yeah, it's interesting. The last couple teams that have come in, Philadelphia completely changed their tactics, right? From what we're used to seeing from them. They went to 3 center backs. Cincinnati came in and did exactly what they always do. They have 3 center backs. They have Lucho Acosta. They didn't change anything, right? And so what you're going to get from San Jose, I don't think they're going to change a lot because they have been playing well. Maybe they'll sit a little bit deeper and allow the Rapids to try to dictate the play a little bit more. But whatever it is, the Rapids need to think about themselves mostly. How do they start the game? How do they create chances? How do they drag their defensive players out of position to unbalance them? And can the Rapids defend well, defend as a unit, take the belief out of San Jose that they're going to come in here and get anything, and they need to do it early in the game. Start well, start on the front foot, and do not stop.
Seems to be the emphasis of the Colorado Rapids right now, starting well at home. You can't focus all on yourself when you have a player like Christian Espinosa on the other team. 8 goals, 3 assists this year for him. How do you manage him?
You just have to be close to him, right? Christian Espinosa, I always thought he was a good player. I think this year, finally, people are starting to realize in the media and maybe just your casual MLS fan, he can score from anywhere, right? And it doesn't take much space or much room for him to get his shot off. And he creates extremely well too. He kind of floats in and out of the midfield and forward position, so he's tough to keep track of. So communication on where he is, keeping your structure defensively, right? But anytime he's on the ball, somebody needs to be close to him. And if he's on the ball, somebody needs to be close to Ebobisse because he's going to be looking for him in the box. They're going to have their hands full with Espinosa, but if you take him out of the game, you take a lot of what they want to do offensively out of the game.
And deny him shots from distance. Christian Espinosa had the goal against Colorado Rapids in that 1-0 victory for San Jose back in the 3rd week of this season. So get pressure to him at the top of the box as well. What did they learn from that game away from home, playing San Jose, that maybe is going to be applicable in this match?
Yeah, I think the Rapids conceded late. The Espinosa goal was late, right? After, it was kind of a back and forth game. I think the Rapids conceded a lot of possession, which, again, San Jose at their place with the players they have, you're going to tend to concede some possession. And the Rapids defended really well. The goal came out of nothing, which is what Espinosa is capable of. And so I think that's the biggest takeaway is you can't give players like Espinosa an inch, right? It was nobody's fault. It was, you can go back to any goal in the season and say, you should have done this, you should have done that. It was just a sign of a very good player in form, scoring out of nothing. And so I think the biggest takeaway is you have to be locked in for 90 minutes. Yeah. Whether you're at home, whether you're on the road, when other teams, which most other teams do, have players like an Espinosa, you can't sleep. You have to be locked in for 90 minutes.
You can feel it's a big game from Drew Moor. This is what the team had to say ahead of the big match on Saturday against San Jose Earthquakes.
I guess it's always relevant. You've seen the players, you have an idea of how their players are, but the bottom line is they're in really good form and really confident at the moment. They've had some really good results. They've had some very good games where they're playing well, and we know that there are certain players who we have to be aware of at all times. And so from the defensive side, that's it. But offensively, we feel like we have ways that we can get at them as well. And obviously, they're a very good team. It's going to be a very big test. This is a place where we have been really, really good for at least almost 4 years now. And this year has certainly felt like an anomaly. It's a bit of a head scratcher. And we know we need to win at home. Our fans have been fantastic. They've really been great. The support that we're getting when we're late in games and trying to make a run and that sort of thing has been absolutely fantastic. And we really want to reward them with a proper performance and a good win.
It's going to be a big one here at Dick's Sporting Goods Park Saturday, 7:30 p.m. kickoff here Mountain Time. Of course, you can catch everything on MLS Season Pass. For Drew, I'm Jordan. That's it for us on this edition of The Rundown.